Mediterranean sails, not snails. Right. Hi over there, and welcome to another clip from my YouTube channel. My name is Julia, and in today's clip, probably that's why you clicked it. I'm gonna do, it's not like first impression, but because I did use the Riviera palette in the meantime. I think I used it for about like 4 or 5 times, and yeah, I mean, I guess it will be a kind of like even better review because I already used it more, so I kind of have a sense of what the colors are and stuff, because I used every single shade actually, so that's really good. This is the palette. I'm gonna insert swatches and, you know, a kind of like glimpse of how the shadows look on my arm. But again, I want to make sure that people do understand eyeshadows do not explain the performance. Eyeshadows, swatches don't explain the performance of the eyeshadow on the lids. It's just a sense of like people who are kind of my skin tone to, you know, see how the shadows look like. Let me just, you know, prime my lids. I'm using Catrice Camouflage Concealer in shade 005 Light Natural. I really like this as an eyeshadow primer, however, I really don't like it as an under eye concealer just because it has so much fragrance in it that is just, my eyes are super watery because of it. I also wear contact lenses, so you know, it's a no-no for the under eye area, but for some reason when I put it on my lid, that is completely fine. Mistakenly, I, you know, matched with the palette, and I did not get the peeling off stuff because I really want to do it on the camera. I have no idea why, but I was just like, I'm gonna do it here. So let me just, that was a nice feeling, probably that's why. So I have some brushes here. Yeah, I have some staining going on, but I promise you I'm gonna brush them off into the color switch thing. And yeah, actually, you know what, I'm gonna try and use as much as I can the brush that comes with it, because I actually did that. I used a bunch of colors with the same brush because I'm lazy. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is actually use a very clean brush, stained but clean, and I think I'm gonna go with Estate because I always do set my eye, just because when I'm trying to not set it and I'm rushing, it's not working out well for me. Like, I need to be very, you know, not dependent on time. It's a kind of like peachy sort of shade, really nice going on with my skin tone as a setting primer thing. I am using this Coastline shade, which is yet again a very peachy, but more like on the orange side. I feel Estate is not that orangey, it's more like cool peach, like neutral sort of peachy shade, if that makes any sense. But yeah, really like this color as well for the crease because it's very soft on my eyes. Now I think I'm gonna go with Cabana because, you know, I'm trying to use as many shades as I can. I used this before, obviously. I like, it's like a yellow mustard shade that I don't have in my collection, and it's very pigmented. What I would say with this palette is that it's very, very nice to get it on a trip if you just want to have fun shades, but at the same time, you know, kind of like day-to-day basis shades. I feel if you only use Coastline, Palm, Cabana, which I'm using now, Estate, Even Monte Carlo, I would say it's kind of a nice everyday sort of shade. You know, it's very, very versatile, I would say. I feel so many, like a few people complained that it doesn't have that many bright shades as they expected, but seriously, I don't agree with that, in the sense of like, yeah, I do understand colors are trendy, they are going really well, but seriously, we need this kind of palette, you know. I would take Riviera probably with me instead of like, I don't know, Blue Blood or Blood Sugar, because they are very big and heavy. So, you know, this is kind of my go-to, because I had it in a trip recently and it was very lovely, because I didn't have time to make a proper eye look, but I still had some colors in my life. I'm gonna use the shade Palm, which is a very like dark brown, so I'm gonna use the other side of the brush. I want to pack it on at the end of the eye, just to kind of like give a depth to my eye. I'm switching back and forth, blending it out. I really like the shade. I always prefer a brown rather than black, because it is very tricky. Even this one is a bit tricky, but I feel I'm not getting along with blacks as much as I do with browns, and very dark brown. So yeah, I would say this shade is a bit more trickier to blend, in the sense of like, you need to go over there, like, you know, brush and brush and brush and blend and blend and blend, because it's quite pigmented and it really stays in, like, the pigment stays in place. You don't have to go back and forth too much with the product. But you know, blending is not hard, but a bit harder than other shades. But other shades don't keep the colors, so you know, depends what skills you have and what, like, how patient you are. I think I'm gonna use Canes just because I didn't use as much as the other shades, and I'm feeling the purple vibe, so I might as well just use it. Taking with the tinier brush and pack it on there. These are really, really, really pigmented, as you can tell. Like I said, I'm not surprised by it because I used it before. Right, so now I'm just gonna, you know, go over that brown, because I don't mind, like, I don't want to keep it, you know, brown, straight up brown there. But obviously, if you want that, you can always go back with the brown after you blend out everything. That is very nice. I like it. And I think I'm gonna literally go with Bahamas. Wow, this is, see how nicely blended over there? I don't know if you can see probably, but it did blend very nice, and I did not, you know, try my best to blend it out. The shades are performing very, very nice. But yeah, with these ones, I think they are pigments. You have to go back and forth with the shade a bit. But it's not something that bothers me, literally. Like, if I'm doing a bold eye, I always take my time. I feel eyeshadows, there are very rare occasions where you can literally not work with them. But if you find your way around the eyeshadow, how it performs and works, you can like always make a look that works out. If at least this is what I feel like. And I promised myself I'm gonna put my phone on silent when I'm filming, which obviously did not happen. I'm going with Monte Carlo just in the inner part of my eye. Obviously I cleaned the brush again, same one. And you know, if you don't have like a color switcher, use a goddamn tissue. It works. I always do that. So I'm gonna just pack that in there. Okay, I really like how this gradient goes on. I'm gonna insist a bit with Bahamas in a sec. It's definitely a more soft gradient because obviously it's pink next to pink. But I guess that's what I wanted, so Alright, let's go with the shimmers. I think I used instead, like, except snails, sales, not snails. Except of sales, I did use every single matte shade. But I think I'm gonna find my way around to use that one in my inner corner and then top it up with some shimmer. So yeah, let's just do that. It definitely, you know, brings out some luminosity over there. It's definitely really, really pigmented. It's literally white. It did pick a bit of pink from my brush, but seriously, I don't mind. It works fine. And you can barely tell. It's just me being paranoid. I can tell that as well. And see how it kind of like gets my eye very like, I like it. So I feel what I can do is use Palermo on my middle, in the middle of my eye. And this is one thing I want to talk about. The shimmers are very crumbly. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's very crumbly. So what I usually do is do this and put it there. But then again, it's really annoying because it doesn't pick up the actual blindness in the shimmer I want to. So the shimmers are a downside for me just because I always have to make sure I have a setting spray with me. Yeah, no, this is not working. And I already have fallout, but it's fine. It's not staining as other shimmers. Like, there's Ocean Ice in Blue Blood that it really stains my skin when it has fallout as well. Actually, wait, I have something new to try on. I got these silicone brushes from Revolution. Let's try it with this one. See if it's... Okay, here we go. I remember Soft Those Nails saying they're really good for packing. I haven't seen her in a while using them, but seriously, I have no idea why she enjoys using her fingers more than this kind of thing. This actually works. Ooh. Let's still use a setting spray with like a, you know, basic brush. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take a flat brush, put first the shade Palermo on my brush and then spray like 2 times. Let's see. Maybe let's go for a third. Yeah, see, this is what I was about to say. Besides that, it picks the lighting much better than this one. Can you see that? I always pick about this matter on my channel, although I don't have that many clips. If I don't put a setting spray with a shimmer, no matter what the palette is like performing, it can be the most amazing palette in the world that people talk about it and they're like, oh yeah, this is amazing, da, da, da. My eyes, to some extent, probably it's my eye because I don't see everybody complaining like I do. If I don't use a fixing spray, it will not fix my eyeshadow in place. That's why I'm always using a fixing spray. It still transfers with it as well. I'm not gonna say, oh my god, it's gonna stay in place. Maybe with other more expensive ones it would, but I don't spend that much money on setting sprays. Anyhow, it still transfers just a tiny bit. But this one, it has crumbles like everywhere. I don't like that. I'll try to use a setting spray with this brush now. So next, I think I'm gonna actually dare to try Mediterranean. I would just say Mediterranean. The English version is horrible. On the brush, and I'm just gonna spray it and experiment with this brush and see how it performs. Okay, it definitely does perform really nice. It just picks a product and sets it in place. And it's just easier to not waste the shimmer. Okay, I got too much. Yeah, this is one thing I would say is scrape a tiny bit at a time, because otherwise you're gonna end up with fallout like I do have now. I know the purple it's pretty much covered, but you know what, like I said, I want to try more shades. Keeping that pink matte over there just because I quite like it, and I'm gonna do is use Seychelles underneath my eye, but not before using just this brush with Coastline. So I'm using Coastline just to kind of like smoke out a bit the under eye area and match the crease. I'm going very messy, I don't care. Now I'm gonna do is literally get like an eyeliner brush and go with Seychelles. Just place it there. Last but not least, I'm gonna use shade Inheritance. Place that. Actually, I'm gonna place it just underneath the eye, so I can actually place Yacht in the immediate inner corner. You know, just for fun. So I'm taking now Yacht. Just literally place it over there on the white. And this is a really nice shade as well. It's just more, you know, subtle. The yellow is more like, you know, in your face because it's a very yellow gold sort of shade. Now I'm gonna do is just put some eyeliner, my mascara on, and I'll be right back. So this is the finished look. I am really happy with how it turned out. Obviously, like I said, I did use this palette before. I knew how it performs, how to work it out with it. I mean, it's not science, I would say. With this palette, I think it's easier to use than, for example, Blue Blood. I did had a hard time my first time using it. The only downside I would say is that the shimmers are quite crumbly, in the sense of like you need that setting fixing spray. Jeffree Star also has his shimmers a bit crumbly, but they're not as bad as the one from Anastasia. I mean, to be honest, I can't say about all of them. It's just Riviera and the Norvina one I tried. Although the Norvina one I only tried once in my lifetime because I bought it for my best friend in the UK. Then I went back home and gave it to her, but she was very lovely to let me be like, she was like, just use it, like if you want to use it, use it. So I used it, and I remember it was the same case with the shimmers. However, I really remember being very impressed by the mattes. I feel it's kind of like, it's the only eyeshadow I remember I did not use primer for my eyelids, and the mattes did not like fade away. Sometimes I feel with some eyeshadows they kind of like crease. That's not happening with this one, neither with the high one and I used, which is only Jeffree Star if I'm right. But yeah, anyhow, I do hope this was a very helpful, useful video clip. Like I said, I used it a few times. It's only the shimmer that I don't like. The mattes are great, pigmented, you know, easy to travel with. You have, I don't understand people who are annoyed at the brushes. I really love the brush. It's nice, it's good quality. You have it over there. I never did understand why people are complaining about having a brush, because you literally just keep it there. It's there. If you leave somewhere, place it. It happened to me. I forgot my brushes. Well, you have a brush just there, you know. But yeah, I mean, okay, so far so good. I hope you enjoyed this clip. It was useful and relevant, and I do hope I will see you next time. Maybe you will subscribe. It's for free. If you don't like me, unsubscribe. You have that button. It's an undo, like you can undo and like, you know, you get what I mean. But yeah, check out my other clips. I have so far, I think, 23. I have over 20 clips, which is something that I can't acknowledge so far. But yeah, acknowledge, you know, get my head around it. So, you know, it's not like you don't have, you know, just have a look. But yeah, I'll leave it here. I'll see you next time, hopefully. And yeah, bye.